Hopefully people's lives changed, people's lives moved, people's lives transformed.
When you're striving to become successful, you're going to want to have a group of people that are totally committed to you and you are equally as committed to them. You're going to want to love on them and care for them just as much as they love and care for you. You're not going to be able to do everything by yourself. You're going to need help along the way. And no better place to do that than find a team of people who truly want to work with you and help you grow and mature and learn along the way and grow up person.
Not how people think about you, but how you think about yourself.
And learn the way of life throughout the journey that it carries you on. Along the way, people are going to tell you that you can't do things, or you're not good enough, or whatever you're trying to achieve is impossible. And you're just going to not need to listen to them whatsoever. No matter what the naysayers and the haters tell you, just let that roll off your back and never pay attention to it after they say it. Because they know deep down that they're wrong, and they're just extremely jealous and wish they were doing what you're doing right now. Constantly pushing for your dreams and doing whatever it takes. Putting it all out there on the line, risking it for something that you love to do.
It's been ignored for so long. People have done jobs they've hated for years. People have done jobs.
And if it works out, you're going to love to do it forever and ever. And you're never going to have a dull moment because you're constantly chasing and striving to be the best that there ever was. They all are going to wish that they had tried harder and put more in because they've only settled for the second best while you're out there just constantly going at it every single day, hitting the grindstone, constantly working to become the most successful person you can be.
Today, I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. Underestimate what it feels like to be in a place where people have meditated for hundreds of thousands of years. Like, places take on energies. And that place was a place where people have meditated, those two monasteries, people have meditated for like 40 years in that space for over 4 hours a day. So you're like walking into like the most spiritual, sacred atmosphere in the world. You only tap into that more. You know, when we go to a place, we know what it feels like when you've been on a stage that Michael Jackson performed at, or when you'd been in an arena where, you know, your favorite artist, whatever it is, the analogy that works for you. It was like walking into the arena because it's amazing. So yeah, it was 4 to 5:15 is group meditation. Then 5:15 to 7 is private meditation. So that's your practice. So that's already 3 hours since you've been awake, right? 7 o'clock till 7:30 is group meditation, group chanting again. And then 7:30 to 8:30 is a wisdom class on the Vedas. So the Vedas are 5,000 years old, linguistically and philosophically the oldest books on the planet. And I was pretty good at numbers, and I'd have this tutor and he'd tell me that, he goes, the reason that you're struggling with the next question is because you're always worried about what your parents think. And that really stayed in my head. I was just like, wow, so as long as I'm trapped by what my parents think, I can actually never find the answers to the real questions of life. And there are all these little things happening. I lost 2 great friends when I was 16. One girl died in a car accident. One guy died because he was involved in drugs and violence. That made me rethink everything. I just thought to myself, wait a minute, these were beautiful people, people that I loved, people that in my opinion were good people, and I just lost them in a moment. And it was kind of like this collation of little things that just made me think, wait a minute, having money, having fame, that just doesn't seem to add up. And then meeting the monk kind of made that shift possible. And as I said, he was completely captivating. And then I found out that he'd given up jobs in Google and Microsoft to be a monk. And I thought to myself, who does that? You know, he's given up everything that I'm chasing and that all my friends are chasing, but he seems happier than anyone I've ever met before. Yeah, so we're all chasing perfectionism, right? We want everything to work out just as it is. And I think that makes it really tough for us. So for me, it's about setting a limit of what you're trying to aim for. So for me personally, I'm trying to aim for 75% today. Okay. Right? That's what I'm going for. I'm not going to put this lofty goal of, I need to be at 100% today. Because then you don't reach the 100%, and then you feel, whereas if it's like, I'm going to hit 75% and I hit that, then it's like this real goal that I can reach. Favorite tips in the world. It's something I learned living as a monk about doing one thing at a time. So most of us think we can multitask. So the truth is that only 2% of the world's population can multitask. Now, when most of us hear that, we think that's us. So what we need to do is when we're doing an activity, try and do that one thing. When you're eating, just eat. When you're being creative, just be creative. Don't try and mix all of your tasks together, because actually your productivity goes down, your energy goes down, and your effectiveness goes down. Find is that when you actually do one thing at a time, you're more effective, you actually save time, and you actually let that activity have the impact. How many of us eat and then feel like we haven't eaten? Just being able to do an activity with some attention and presence Absolutely. I think it's something we all feel today. And the biggest pressure I think we feel is we're rushed by other people's timelines. We're rushed by the success and achievement of people around us, or we're rushed by the supposed success and achievements of others we see on social media. And the biggest thing I'd say is give yourself permission to take time. Give yourself permission to recognize that living your passion and creating a purpose takes time. For some people, they've waited till 30 or 40 or 50 or 60. We want it to happen in our 20s, but your best years are yet to come. So one of the things about gratitude is that studies show that when you're in gratitude, when you're feeling gratitude, you can't be in another state. So you can't be angry or sad or disappointed when you're being grateful. So grateful for me is like a seed. And when you're grateful, you plant this seed in your life, which is going to grow a beautiful tree and shade and fruits. And it helps you avoid what I call weeds in our life. So when we're planting sadness or disappointment, anger, these are like weeds in our life. So every day I'm trying to plant seeds of gratitude, and I recommend doing it the first thing you do in the morning, but even more importantly, the last thing you do before you go to bed.